Why, hello dear viewer. This week another spontaneous video, or more of an informal one, because I was yet again focused on my stupid work for school. Mathematic exams, you know, the usual toss shit and stuff. It does not matter. It does not concern me. But, you know, you remember maybe a few videos ago when I promised I wouldn't do Silksong again? Well, turns out I am a dumb liar, because it's so hard not to talk about this game because it's just so enticing and so easy to talk about as well, because there's quite a lot to discuss. People tell me, yeah, there's not much and it's only obvious and stuff, and you can't really speculate on a game that's not already out. And I mean, that's probably fair, yeah. You can't really have much in a video just speculating on a game that's not released yet, which is unreleased, and where only limited information is available. But you can grasp straws and have a few different things, which me and my comrade Stizzl, link down in the description to his channel, we are professors in the art of speculating on stuff which is completely vague, and also most of the time we don't have any knowledge on aside our guesses and maybe some, you know, basic things and the general guidelines of a game. And so today I want to discuss something which I have mentioned a few times in my video, as I often do. I often mention things and then do videos on them later on because I am just that desperate, to a topic which has plagued the Pharloom speculation community, which consists of around 10 people, a few times, because we have to discuss the symbol of Pharloom. Now, you might be saying, wait, haven't you talked about that a few times? And yes, indeed, I have. A few times I've mentioned it, a few times I've just, you know, kind of obscurely just talked about it on the side. It wasn't that important mostly. But today, we'll focus on an entire video on this specific symbol, which is seen a few times during, well, the demo gameplay and the trailers and stuff. And what do I mean by the symbol of Pharloom? Well, the symbol of Pharloom consists of a big ball which stands on a sort of pillar-like shape, and then there's basically a sort of side thing going to the top, to the other top of it, so it's kind of enclosed, this big ball, which almost looks like a yarn ball, or maybe a silk ball, who knows. And it's enclosed in this sort of lining. It's hard to describe. I just will probably just show you an image on screen later on in the editing store. And, well, what could this symbol stand for? Well, some have speculated, and that is a theory which impressed me actually, because I didn't go that far in thinking it would be. Some people have speculated that this symbol could stand for the Citadel, which would make sense. The Citadel seems to be the most important place in Pharloom, and perhaps the most, you know, visited place in the kingdom. Maybe like from a spiritual place, it's very important. It definitely seems to be the, well, obvious goal of your journey. There might be other places which are more important later on. I mean, your goal in the first game was just to reach, you know, the Temple of the Black Egg, you know, defeat the Hollow Knight, but soon later on, things like the White Palace and stuff, they were far more important. And the Citadel itself might sort of be similar, but I think this game will have more of a focus point onto it, because we meet a lot of pilgrims on the way who might be on their way to the Citadels. I talked about that in another video, the Pilgrims of Pharloom. And the symbol of Pharloom is, well, interesting, because we know of Pharloom's obsession with a few things, a few objects. And what are these objects? Well, bells. Pharloom loves bells. There are bells everywhere in the trailers. Bells are mentioned. People wear bells. It's incredible. It's like a kingdom built on bells. But could this potentially be a bell? Well, it doesn't look like one. It doesn't look like an ordinary one. It might be something else, maybe a giant bell in the middle of the kingdom or on the Citadel's top, which is sort of magical and stuff. I mean, we see it a few times in the gameplay demos. For example, at the end of the Deep Dogs one, that Hornet can actually activate these bells. They then display a seal of binding, like a purple one, I think, which goes into the screen, and then you can sit on a bench. So they seem to have some sort of importance, or at least use or function. And maybe again, as I said, the symbol could obviously represent the citadel, but it could obviously also represent the kingdom's religion. So it's maybe in a religious object, which might have to be acquired later on to defeat some greater evil or something, or it just might be of like in the normal Christian church they have like these sacred objects and stuff. I think they have them in other churches as well. That's just the nearest example which I had. And so perhaps this bell, or well, at least the symbol, could stand for something which the kingdom desires, you know, for something concerning their religion. The thing is that it looks very weird. It looks nothing like anything we would link to a bell or a church or something, so it could either be a structure, as I said, something totally original to Pharloom, or it could be a magical object which we can't obviously tell right now. It seems to be littered everywhere. If you look closely around, you can see it everywhere. You can see the statues in the background of fights. For example, in the Lace fight, you can actually see it in the background, looming really large behind our main characters. You can see it on the elevators. You can see it on different floors and stuff, like the bells. Basically, it's littered everywhere if you look closely. And this also gives me the sort of hint that people might be praying to it, so that if it is standing for the citadel or for the religion, then obviously people will be praying to it, and will be building statues everywhere, similar to churches, or maybe just statues of sacred people, you know, where you pray to them, or sort of. I don't know, it could be convoluted. Maybe the Bell cult has itself established with their religion this symbol across Pharloom, and have, because of that, put it literally everywhere to promote their religion or cult. Well, whatever you call it. It could be, you can do what you want. And yeah, this might be of importance later on, because if it is connected with the bells, then it really has to have an obvious connection to the law itself, and that's probably the one defining thing that Pharloom has at the moment: bells and some sort of religion cult, which I talked about in another video as well, called the Pharloom. You can also check that one out. So this video is just like a small video. I wanted to give you a basis to talk about it in the comments, because obviously I have no clear answer for you. It hasn't been discussed in any blog post. It hasn't been discussed by Team Cherry. It maybe has been mentioned sorta if you look at the Citadel. If you claim that it stands for the Citadel, it might be kind of linked to that, but other than that, we literally know nothing of it. It could stand for anything. As I said, it could stand for structure, objects, maybe even a person, maybe a sort of magical creature engulfed in a string of silk or something. Silk might also be important, because if silk definitely will probably have some importance to lore. You know, you have all these silk containers and stuff, or you gather silk all around the kingdom on spools and stuff. So it will obviously also have some sort of importance to our main character, as we see in the trailer, and to the kingdom itself. We have kind of a lot of things connected to the kingdom. We have the cult, obviously. We have the religious undertones. We have the silk. We have music. There's a lot of connections going on with the kingdom of Pharloom, and it's really quite surprising how much symbolism they can fit into like these few things which they have given us, and we have speculated quite a lot on that. So what are your opinions of this symbol of Pharloom, and what could its meaning be? Tell me your answers down in the comments below, and speak soon.